So hello, everyone. Just welcome again. Today, we are going to be walking through the UC application. This is a working session for you all to be filling out the UC application as we go. And specifically, we're going to be going through the first 3 sections of the application. I do just want to let all of you know this session is recorded. You are welcome to ask questions along the way, but we want to make sure that those questions are not sharing personal information because we are recording this session. We'd like you to keep your questions in line with what it is that we're walking through at the moment, but there'll be some time at the end of each section to ask other questions as well, or go back to information that we went over. But as we go, try to keep those questions in line so that way we can stop and answer the question as we go and not get off track. So just to get started, one other thing I want to mention is if you do have a question that you need to ask that is personal, we do have a couple of breakout rooms that we can go into and meet with you individually to address those questions. So just raise your hand, let us know that you have a question that's personal, and we'll go ahead and take care of that. So just want to let all of you know, if you have not created an account yet, this is the site that you need to go to create that account. And let me go ahead and put this in the chat for you. So that is where you go to create your UC application. If you already have it created, go ahead and sign in now because we're going to be working our way through this as we go. So we want you to fill this out as we discuss. But if you haven't created it yet, the email address that you should be using for this application is your email address that is associated with your UC TAP account. So if you have a UC Transfer Admission Planner account already, use that same email because that's going to allow you to import your coursework from that account. Now, just a few things I wanted to go over when you log in. It's going to take you to selecting the term. So you'll want to select that it's a fall 2024 application term. And then it's also going to ask you for applicant level. And this is something important that I wanted to make sure to address with everybody, that you're clear on what level of application you should be selecting. So it's going to be transfer. And then, unless if there's anybody in here that's a high school student, who is maybe dual enrolled at a community college, then you would be applying as a freshman. But if you've graduated high school already, you're attending the community college, then you select transfer, or any other college or university, that would be transfer. Okay, and the vast majority of people are going to be juniors. So junior level is if you have 60 to 89 semester units or 90 to 134 quarter units by the time you're going to enter the UC system. If you have more units than this, but you have only attended California Community College, or any community college for that matter, you still choose junior because of the way that we calculate these units. So junior selection is the only one that's going to be open for every single campus and every single major. Sophomore level would be for students who will have less than 60 semester or 90 units by the time they're going to enter UC. Finally, there's senior level. The only people that should be potentially selecting senior level would be if you have coursework from the UC system or upper division coursework from another four-year institution. So you would have had to have attended a four-year institution to ever be in this senior level. Manny, do you have a question? Let me go ahead and unmute you.
Hello, I was just wondering, so I'm gonna have the more than 60 to 89 units, but my major is mechanical engineering. Because of one class, I think the coursework, I checked with another UC, it's gonna be for 3 years. So would I put sophomore or junior still?
So you said you'll have more than 60 semester
Yeah,
units? Then
yeah.
you're a junior.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, because it's total units, total transferable units. It's not major specific. And then if anyone here is in the situation where they have four-year coursework and they are concerned that they may be at this senior level, we're going to have some breakout rooms that are open. Let me know. I can talk to you individually in a breakout room to kind of assess the situation. I see you have a question. You can unmute.
Hi, sorry, I was having a little bit difficult with the audio earlier. Are we in the academic campuses and major sections?
We will be in just a moment. So right now we're just going over when you first create your application, what level you should be selecting.
Okay, because I don't see that. I am in the middle of like filling out my first name, last name, address, that kind of stuff. Are we already past that?
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet. So we'll be there in just a moment. So just hang tight. Okay, that's the next thing we're going to start.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I apologize if I mispronounce your name, Harjot.
Good evening. The question I had was, when you say coursework, are we just talking about the coursework for our major that we plan to transfer into, or the overall coursework, including any other majors we probably had before? Because I was planning to transfer for another major when I switched over, so my coursework is a little bit over 80.
Yep. So we're talking about all coursework. So everything that's transferable to the UC system. So it doesn't matter what major it falls under if it's a transferable course.
Okay.
But if you only attended community college, you would be junior. You would not ever be in that senior standing. Juan.
Hello. Right now, this is we chose for we're applying for fall 2024, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. In my TAP, it says that the filing period is October 1 to November 30. So right now we'd be like filling out the application, but we're not going to turn it in till October.
Correct. Yeah. So right now you can be working on it, and then you can submit it anytime between October 1st and November 30th.
Okay. And so that's what we're doing right now. We're working on it to have it ready.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I add to that real quick?
Yes.
For those of you who are applying for TAG next month, September 1st through September 30th, you will receive TAG to UC Davis. You'll receive your TAG decision from UC Davis around mid-November. So what we usually advise students is to wait until you receive your TAG decision before submitting your UC application.
Thank you, Pam. Kenda.
Hi, I see a question where it says, when do you hope to start the University of California? And there is three options. There is winter, fall and of 2023 and then 24. Is there a way that we can start earlier?
No, it won't. It's not actually open anymore for the other terms. So it's fall 2024 is what you want to select.
Okay, and then I heard the UC Davis representative saying that we don't submit the application for UC Davis until after the decision of the TAG. Aren't I supposed to submit it by November of 2023?
Yes, yeah. So it will be due by November 30th. of 2023. So that's the deadline to get the application in. If you submit a tag application, you're going to get a response as to whether or not that was approved in mid-November. So you can go ahead and, we're here, let's work on it. You want to get everything filled out in advance, but just wait to submit until you hear back regarding your tag decision, because there's going to be really specific information on what the conditions are of the tag. So we want to make sure that that's clear to you when you receive that information.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then Dorsa.
Hi, so I've taken some classes in Canada, and then I've been talking to, I think, Jackie. She has, everything about my student records. So I don't know at this time. So I have, I'm at this time, I'm studying as CSM, but I have taken some classes in Canada too. So no one knows that these courses are transferable or not, since it's, first language is English and it's very close. So I don't know, what should I enter as the junior or senior? I'm not sure about it, because I've taken like more than 90 units, I can say, everything combined. So it's a little bit complicated.
Yeah, I would put in junior, because at this point we don't know that coursework needs to be reviewed. And if you choose senior, it's going to really limit where you can apply and what you can apply under. So select junior. That way it'll be open for you to apply everywhere under every, under
Okay.
major,
Okay.
and then we can review it.
Okay, so for sure, but I'm not, which is that one? Let me check. So for sure, I'm not, okay, junior. Okay, thank you.
Yes, yeah, choose junior. And just Sean.
Hi, so I've already started my application, but is there a way for me to go back and look at this certain page? I just want to make sure I selected the right options.
Yeah, if you click on application status, so that's where it's going to be. So you click on application status, you click on fall 2024, and then it'll show you the levels.
Yeah, I've been doing that. It only just tells me the fall 2024 thing. It doesn't say like if I chose junior, senior, or
Okay, that's right. It does just come back here. Okay. Well, when you go to campuses and majors, if not everything's available, then you didn't choose junior. So then you'll have to go back.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I probably did.
Yeah, if everything's available for you, then you chose junior. It's really limited what's open for sophomores and seniors.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to pass it on now to Alyssa to start us off with the next, first section.
Hi everyone, can you see my screen? Is it like thumbs up, thumbs down? Good. So I'm gonna walk you through the first parts of this application. What's nice about it starts with pretty like self-explanatory things like your personal information. So this is the about you. You can navigate the application with this side tool. It's really helpful if you need to go back to a section. So this first part is personal information. So your name, what is your legal name that appears on your official documents, like your birth certificate. So I just put in just a random name just to fill this out. So if it has a star, like an asterisk, then that means you need to fill that part out. And then these are optional. And then if you have a live name, so that's like a preferred name that you go by, you would indicate like yes or no, and then you would go ahead and type that in, both first and last name. Did you have a question on?
Yes, I do. So it's a little bit of confused, but on my green card and my ID it says Van An, but I go to CRC and the school stated my name as An B Nguyen. So what should I do in that situation?
I would say put it as you have it on your green card, not as what the university has, like on your official documents. Have that on your application as your official name.
Okay, so then should I put Anvi as my different legal name?
If you go by that, if you have that as your preferred name, then you can go ahead and put it in this section. You could say, yes, that is your preferred name.
Oh, so this is the name that I want, that I prefer.
Yes.
Okay, well, oh my God. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then next, if you ever had a different legal name or you had like a name change, then you would indicate that here. So it'd be yes or no, and then you would go ahead and put that in this section. And then next is date of birth. So when were you born? You can go ahead. It'll show you like the months and days, or you could like type in. I don't. So go ahead and put that in. And we also have where you born, so the country, and if it's the United States, you also have the state and the city. And then throughout the application, there are these little blue info bubbles, and it'll tell you more information, like if you need more details about each, like you're not sure how to answer it, then this will give you more details. So like it says here, so if you were born in a hospital, like if the location of where you were officially born, so like hospital, place of birth is location of the hospital. So that gives you more details about that. And then have you ever attended a California public school? So California public schools are funded by the state, and that includes pre-K and K through 12 schools, charter schools, and adult schools. So K through 12, like, you know, high school and everything. So you would say yes or no. I think it jumped here. So if you say yes, then it will also ask for your California State student ID, and it's the 10-digit number on your high school transcript, and you can find it there. Or it also says you can ask a high school counselor for that information. Is it Julie you had a question?
Yeah, I'm 62 years old. Would this number even, would I have this number even be around that long ago for the California public schools?
I would say yes. I would say yes for that. If you have ever attended a California public school then yeah, we would mark that.
All right, so so I need to get my high school transcripts, correct?
Lisa, did you want to elaborate?
Yes, if you can get your high school transcript, that would help. I don't know if they had it then or not, to be honest, but it's not going to prevent you from submitting the application or filling it out if you don't have that information.
Okay.
So you can submit it and it won't be a problem without it. It's just another matching criteria for us when we get all of your transcripts. So, you know, eventually you will need to submit official transcripts from high school as well. So, you know, you could contact and ask if that was something that was on the transcript at the time.
Okay. All right, I'll put it on my list to do. Thank you.
Sure.
Juan, you had a question?
Yes, it's kind of, it's a similar question. I went to high school in Florida, but I did go in elementary school in California like 15, 20 years ago, I think 20 years ago. I don't know, like, you think I have one? Should I contact my elementary school from 20 years ago? Or do you think my transcript here from Woodland Community College has it? You think it would be my ID number for this college?
It's only for high schools in California. So if you didn't go to high school in California, then you don't need it.
Okay, I'll just put no, right?
I think you just leave it blank. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If have you ever attended a California public school? Well, if you have, then it would still be a yes. But you can just leave the California SSID blank.
Thank you.
Kenda?
Hi, if I don't have it at the moment, the number, the SSID number, and can I go back later and add it?
Yes, yeah, you can save this section and then any information that you need to get later, you can always fill it out.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sorry.
Matt?
So like the other people asked, I graduated in 2001 and I've only lived and attended schools in California. And when I called my high school, they said, we only keep records for up to 15 years. I've been out of high school for 22 years now. So what am I supposed to do there?
For the California student ID number?
Yeah, for my California
just
student
leave it
ID
blank.
number and my transcripts. Yeah, they said they don't keep records longer than 15 years. So I don't know what to do at that point. I've been out of high school now for 22 years.
You still have to report the high
Hold
school.
on, I'm sorry, my
data.
kids are talking. Hold on.
Alright.
Sorry.
So you still have to report the high school that you attended, where you graduated from. As for the California student ID
Rudy,
number,
someone is talking.
you can leave that blank. It's optional, really. And then once you are accepted to a UC, that will be required. But if you are unable to submit an official high school transcript, then you can communicate that with the UC that you accept the offer of admissions from.
Okay.
Okay, and just as a reminder,
Happen to know what year they started doing those California SSID numbers? Sounds like it's more of a newer thing.
okay.
I want to say maybe in the last 15 years.
Okay,
Yeah, I know it started when my kids were in school. So
okay.
And just as a reminder for any personal questions or specific questions, we could also jump in a breakout room with one of the top coordinators. And I'll answer, I guess. Kenda, did you have a question?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. Manny?
Hi, I went to a private high school and I checked on my transcripts and it wasn't there. But I think I still have one from like middle elementary school. Would I have to track that number down?
It's sounds like from the other experiences that if it's really hard to like track down or you don't have the number or like there's no way of getting a hold of it, you can leave it blank. I don't know if any of the top coordinators also would suggest.
Yeah, it's okay to leave it blank. If you have it, you know, if you went to a high school where that's posted on your transcripts, we want you to provide that information, but it's not required. You can submit it without it.
Okay, Dia, did you have a question?
I was just wondering, like on my transcript, the only number I see is a student number. I'm assuming that's just my student ID number for high school. Is that not the same thing as the SSID? Because the student ID number was only 8 numbers, not 10. So,
Yeah, it's different.
oh, okay, it's a different number. Okay.
Okay, great. So we're done with this portion. The more important thing is like press this save and continue button and it'll, oh, there's another. Oh, there was a date under there. So once you save that, it'll bring you to the next section. And don't worry about the warning that popped up earlier. It was just because I previously filled this out. So it should be fine once you fill everything out. It'll warn you if you have any errors throughout the application and it'll let you like look back and then you can save and continue. So next, your contact information. So it's going to ask for your home address. So this is your permanent address. And also if the info button here says if you live at 2 different addresses, provide the address where you spend the most amount of time. And if you split your time equally between two addresses, provide the address for the parent who provided more financial support to you over the past year. So little tidbits like that. As I said before, you can put the country and then here's the address line. And then if you live in an apartment, suite, unit, etc., then you would also fill out this part. Then we have the city, state, zip code. And then is this where we should send mail? So the UC would send to your home address. So this would be like their current mailing address. So you would say yes or no. If you say no, then it will let you fill out a mailing address that, to where you can receive mail from the UC. And then we also have the phone number. There's indication for international phone number. And then you would indicate a home or cell mobile. And then you could also authorize any text messages from the UC about application deadlines. And then next, you have an alternative phone number in case we can't contact you. That's yes or no. And you could go ahead and fill that out here. And then it also asks, can we share your contact information with UC campuses and programs? And then if you click this, you may receive information and admission tips and etc. So you could click that, you say yes or no. And yeah. Was that okay? Did anyone have a question over there? Or I can move on to the next part. Okay, looks good. Okay, next is about citizenship and residency. So your country of citizenship, you would go ahead and put that here. If you are undocumented, then you can go ahead and press no selection. And then they have all the different options here. And then if you have a social security number, then if you filled out FAFSA or the DREAM Act, then this here, you would fill this out. So you'd be yes or no. You would have your number and put it here. An, did you have a question?
Yes, so I am currently a permanent resident, not a citizen yet. So should I put it my country as my original country, or should I put US as my citizenship country?
For any of the Pam, if you could answer the question. Pam or Lisa?
I'm sorry, say that again. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, so I am not a citizenship of the US yet. I am a permanent resident, so what should I do in this case? Should I put my original country, or should I put US?
There should be in the drop-down menu, there should be a selection for permanent resident.
Oh, okay.
If you go up, no,
actually, because those are just like list of countries, right? There's no countries for
yeah,
permanent
so
resident.
your citizenship would be your country. Right, so let's say, yeah, just choose any country.
But what if I
Any
get
other
my
country
citizens?
besides United States?
I'm sorry.
So let's, yeah, just click on like, yeah, just click on that one. Cambodia, yeah, click on Cambodia. And then,
yeah,
yeah,
so
and then
you would
there
click
you can
your
click on legal US permanent resident.
I'm sorry,
yes.
I didn't get the last part where you said the US citizen.
So under this next part, it will ask your citizenship status, and you can click the permanent resident option.
Oh, okay. So what if I will get my citizenship within this year or next year? Then should I go back and update it? Or I mean, like this is already the application, but
Then yeah, you'll have to contact the UCs that you applied to update your residency or citizenship status.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pam. Dorsa, is it? Did you
Yes, is it possible to place me in a breakout room? I have a specific question.
Oh, yes. Uh, Pam, if you could get into the breakout room. Okay, and we can move on then from this part. So social security number, and then it also has this disclaimer for California residency for admission purposes. And by the time you attend the UC, will you have graduated from California high school? So it also says here what they consider for graduating from California high school. So like diploma for California or high school equivalency certificate or a certificate of proficiency. So you'd go ahead and say yes or no. And by the time you attend UC, will you have attended a California school for 3 or more years? You'd say yes or no. And then it would ask more info on the next part. Did you have a question?
Yes, so I'm gonna be a transfer student, so should I click yes for the very last question?
Are you referring to?
Yeah, the 3 or more years attending.
This
high
is
school.
for grades K through 12. So that would be before community college.
So if I'm a transfer student, I should click no then?
If you attended, this isn't related to the transfer particularly, but if you, let's say like if you're a transfer student and you also attended California school before like kinder through high school, then you would say yes here. But if you didn't, then you would put no.
Because I did graduate from high school, right? But it's been like a couple years.
Yes, then if it was a
Right.
if it was a California school, then you would say yes if it was 3 or more years.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. David, you had a question?
Hi, yes. I didn't graduate high school in California, and then I selected no, and then the next question pops up like by the time you attend UC and also including the college. That confused me. Could you please select no, the first question? It will pop up.
Yes, so I see it says by the time you attend UC, will you have attended a combination of California high school, California adult, and or California community college for the equivalent of at least 3 years? So then you would say yes or
No,
no.
no, no, on the top, the first.
Oh, for this part?
Yes.
Oh,
At
sorry
top.
about that. By the
No.
time, is it this one?
Yes, when you click no, it pops up the next one.
Oh, okay.
That part is confusing.
So when you attend, by the time you attend the UC, so let's say that's fall 2024, by that time, would you have attended the California high school, California adult school, or California community college for at least 3 years? That's
Now
what the
I'm-
question.
Yeah, now I'm in community college. It's my 3rd year. So do I say no or yes?
So you would say yes, because by the time you transfer, then that would be added the 3 years. So you would say yes.
Oh, okay.
So this upcoming academic year will be your 3rd year at the community college, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, then you would put yes.
Okay, thank you.
And okay. Is it David? Okay. Okay, great. So we're gonna move on to the next part. The next part is demographics. So we want to reiterate that this does not affect your chances of admission, and it's more for statistical purposes for the UCs. So this part you can go ahead and fill out. We have the do you consider yourself Hispanic or Latino? So this includes persons of Cuban, Mexican, Puerto Rican, South or Central American, or other Spanish cultural origin. You would say yes or no, and then you can go ahead and check the boxes that you identify with. And the same with the others. So you would check all that apply. So you would check out the different boxes. And then for American Indian, Alaska Native. There's also lineal descent, and so it goes into further details about what that is. So can go ahead. If that applies to you, then go ahead and check off the box. And they also have gender and sexual orientation. And yes, this is voluntary and optional. But in my experience, if you check these off, they could also send you more about resources for these different groups. So you can go ahead and click those off if you're comfortable, and then you can save and continue. Oh yes, Julie had a question.
So under the demographic for says here, for white/Caucasian, I'm not European descent, so then I just checked the other white/Caucasian. Then it says describe other. I don't know what they are referring to.
I'm actually not sure what that means either. Pam, do you know what that would describe? Or what that would mean?
I don't have an answer for that either.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
So who can I contact to find out what they're looking for? Because it does have an asterisk next to it.
Yes.
I would just put where you descend from. That's what I would put.
I mean, I was born and raised in California. I don't know what descent. I don't know what I should put there.
So
I mean, your ancestral descent. If they're not European, if they're somewhere else, then I would put that. If it's European, just check the European.
But it's not European. I mean, I'm like 7 different things, but I'm always considered white. So I don't really know. I've never been posed this question before, so I have not a clue of what else I would be putting.
I think it would be fine to just say my ancestral roots are from a variety of places and leave it at that. This is not required information. This is just used for statistical purposes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
would it be easier for me to just not check any boxes then?
If you'd like.
You
honestly.
can, yeah, it's not required.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So next is your background. So it goes about language. So what language did you learn to speak first? If you learn English only, English and another language and then other language, if you click other language, it will also give you the options to click which one and all the way to other. And then it will ask also about marital status. So are you married, have children, or these are all more just like different things. So like foster care and military status, or you could click none of the above. And then it also asks, are you a dependent of a US military veteran or service member? It would be yes or no. Yes, David, you had a question?
Yes, I selected other language and I checked the other language list. There is none of them is my first language. So what should I do?
If it doesn't show up, then you would put other. So like this. And then you could type it out here.
Okay.
And Kendall, you had a question?
Yes, do I only need to put the other language? Because the first language for me was not English, so I just put other languages, but I do speak English and the other language, so do I only need to put the other language?
If that was the first language you learned to speak, then just put the other language.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Then I can move on to the next part. Oops. Yes, it's telling me there's an error here, so I'll fill that out. Okay, the next part is about your household. So this was from the address that you put in the previous section, so that would they just reiterate that here. And then it would also ask who lives with you at your permanent home address. So information about parents who live at the address. You can put 1, 2 legal guardians or other, and also goes into further details about it. And then if you put other, it would also say, please tell us who they are and like describe who looks after you. So like a grandparent or other relative. And then total income earned in 2022 by your parents or legal guardians. So this information, like it also determines if you're eligible for certain outreach programs, scholarships. So that would based on like income and the number of people who are supported by that income. Natalie, you had a question?
Hi, I want to ask, so I already filled out the contact information, the home address, but here they keep saying that it looks like you haven't filled in your home address. But my section already checked, like yours. Yeah.
Did you press the save and continue?
Yeah, it's on the right side, it's already checked, like you, the contact information. I already have that checked, but here they still said so.
I would go back to that section and just check if I'm not sure if it was erased or something, but it should be there.
Well, also the first question. So I'm international student, and in the contact information, they said that international student should put the home country address. So obviously I'm not living there with my parents anymore. But here they ask who lives with you at your permanent home address. So I don't know how to answer that because I'm not living at the permanent home address.
There's also an option before, so if the address that you put where you would receive like the mail and
Oh, right.
everything,
Yep.
yeah, there's also that separate address.
So
you
I
can
will
differentiate
answer
the two.
with that address. Like here, for example, I live with my brother, so I'm just gonna put other.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And also the total income, will we have to like provide official documents for this part, or we just put in?
No, you would just put the number, and you could put also, it doesn't have to be like the exact number, just around like the income. Like you don't have to worry about like putting it as exact as the document says.
Okay, and also if not just my parents and my brother also pay for my tuition fee, will I plus his income too?
It's just for from your parents or legal guardians. So
Yeah,
click-
if it's
click
only
on
by
that
your parents.
icon, the information icon there. There's more information there of how to answer that question.
Okay, thank you.
Natalie? Oh, sorry. Is it Gidget?
Yeah, hi. I noticed the income question on the UC app and the UTAP tab is a little worded differently. So on the application, I'm putting my parents' income, and on the UTAP, it says, what did you make as a family? So I've included my little part-time income. Is that correct, or should I leave myself out of everything?
Answer the question like as is. So if this is asking only for your parents or legal guardians, then you would just leave it at that. And then the tap, if it's worded differently, then you would leave it as that.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me. Oh,
sorry, yes.
So can I add to that too? Like it also
Yes.
depends if you're a dependent or an independent student. If you're an independent student, then it would be your income.
Okay, thank you, Pam. Stephen, you had a question? Or Stefan? Uh, okay, Kenda?
Actually, wait,
Oh,
for the
sorry.
question, how many people were supported by this income? Would this include the parents too?
So, like the info bubble says, this includes siblings either living at home or elsewhere, other relatives who live at this household and receive more than half of their financial support from the income above. So, I mean, if your parents are included in that, then I would say yes.
Because they're using their own income, right? I'm sorry if it's confusing. I just don't know how many to put.
If the income that you listed here, if they're supported by that, then you would include them in this number. So the number
Okay.
that you put here.
So basically it'd automatically be yes then, right?
Hmm.
Okay, thank you.
And Kenda?
Yeah, do I include myself in the number of people that I'm supporting?
Yes.
Thank you.
And Juan?
Hello. So I'm in my taxes, I'm independent. Cause I'm 30, so I'm independent. I do my taxes independent. But in my house though, I paid my part of the rent, but my parents live here too. But their money is like different from mine. Should I just put should I put my child on who lives with your home address? I'll put my child and I'll put my parents. But then in the income earned, I'll just put what I get in my taxes, right? Because my parents are considered a separate household than mine in taxes.
If
Yes.
they're not, oh, sorry. Oh, if they're not included, like supported by, then you would not include them. Yeah, if you're separating it, then yes.
Okay, yeah, because they have their own finances and I have my own, so I'll just put mine and I'll add them to my home address that they live with me, but I'll put my own money that I get from my taxes and the
Yeah.
one under in the income. Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
can do that. You're welcome. And Kenda, you had another question?
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay, I'll try to move through so we can get to the other section. So there's more important information in this next section. So parents' relationship. Is this parent living, yes or no? So let's go ahead and mark these just to mark them. If you click yes, then it's also asks about parents' current job status. And you would go ahead and click this. This would change depending on what you click. So employed, ask job category and number of years at the job, and then parents' highest level of education, as well as the contact information, and if the parent's address is the same as your home address. And then they would also ask about another parent if you're able to fill that out. So I'll skip this page for now. Oh, is this okay? Sorry, I'll go back. Okay, so this is a different page. So statement of legal residence. So this is about determining UC tuition. So if you want to be evaluated for California residency for tuition purposes, then you would say yes, and then you would go ahead. It's because I filled this out earlier that it looks like this, but this should show up after, and then you would go edit, and then you would answer these questions. So have you been physically present in California for the last 3 years? Yes or no? And then all these questions too. Have you attended a California high school for 3 or more years? Or nor graduated or have graduated from a California high school? And you would go ahead and fill these out. And then you would have to acknowledge these, like there's the asterisk again, and then you would save and continue. I'm going to skip this for now, just so we can finish up this section. And so we have time to go over the other parts. But at the end here of the about you, then it would summarize the info you filled out. So if anything seems like you need to change something or anything, you can go ahead and click the edit buttons on each section. Juan, you had a question?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to lower my hand from the last question.
Oh, no, it's okay. Gidget, you had a question?
Yes, I'm real confused about the part if I was out of California for more than 6 weeks. I read in the rules for the UC that study abroad is considered going towards your residency. And I was on a study abroad for 3 months in spring. So someone told me just mark that I was here because it goes towards residency. But at the same time, I wasn't really here. So what do I mark there?
This seems like a specific question. I think one of our top coordinators could answer. Pam, about specific study abroad and how that affects residency. I'm not really too sure about that specifically. So if you want to ask about that in the breakout room, you can.
Yeah.
I can
somebody
also, yeah,
Send me breakout room, or how do
there's yes, just message one of the top coordinators. So that's Lisa Overstreet and Pam Blanco. So you can message them about it and then they can help you get to that. So just to
yeah,
get
Alyssa,
yes.
they're both helping out other
Ah,
students right
thank
now.
you.
So I think just try and hold on, be patient. And if we don't have time and you still have questions, you could always email your assigned top coordinator or make an email or make an appointment with them.
Thank you, Anushka. I will get, since the next part of this is campuses and majors. Did you have a quick question about the about you
Yes, I
section?
do. Yeah, for the second questions of this page, did you attend California for 3 or more years? I attend high school here for 2 years, but I did graduate from California high school. So should I put yes or no?
Which question were you referring to? Is it on the page that I'm showing right now, or is it in a different section?
Yes, it should be like after you click yes.
Okay. So yes, is it this part? Okay, let me.
I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So have you been physically present in California for the last 3 years? Is it this question you're referring to?
The next one. Yeah.
The next one. You have not attended a California high school for 3 or more years. Oh, I think the way.
Was it looks a little bit different?
Yes.
It's
So
not-
I
that's-
think the way I filled it out earlier might have affected how the answer
Right.
looks. So that might be why it looks a little confusing. But let me.
And then I'm not sure if you were able to address the question earlier about the student who had study abroad.
I wasn't able to answer.
Okay, yeah. When you were showing that page earlier that had those questions or that has those 3 options. Yeah, it says any of the following are true.
Okay, yes. So if you do fulfill one of these statements, then you would answer no.
Yeah, I clicked yes because it didn't. Well, none of them apply to me. So.
Okay.
But the question below that looks different from mine. It says, did you attend high school in California for 3 or more years? And will you graduate or have you graduated from a high school in California? So the first part, I did not go for 3 years. I only go for 2 years. But the second part, I did graduate from a high school, California high school. So should I put yes or no?
Give me 1 second to
I have the same question. I'm sorry. I also went to school for only 2 years and graduated, and I just put yes, and I did it last year as well, and they didn't have issues with that.
Have you?
Yes. I'm sorry, I can't figure out so the way like I filled it out earlier kind of affected how that answer comes up, but if anyone can answer, yeah, if
Yeah, it's because probably it's probably something in your
yes.
answers earlier. Next
Well,
that question.
would there be anyone stay later on so that I can show you? I can screen share my application later on.
Yes, if you want to go through it in the breakout room, then you're more than welcome to. But
Oh.
just for time's sake, I'll move on to the next part.
Oh, also, I haven't filled out that question, and it does not allow me to save and continue. So should I just skip it?
You can skip the page for now if it allows you, and you can always go back to fill it out.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So just since this part is really quick, so you see values, to click on to the next part, you would have to acknowledge in that. So you could just click that button and then continue. And then this is the first page that Lisa showed everyone. So this is where you can go and check back. And then this is where you choose the campuses. So go ahead and select the campuses that you're interested in applying to. And then it also shows the estimated cost, and that's $80 per campus. And then there's also a fee waiver depending on your family income and size. Then that's determined on your household page that you filled out previously. So you would save and continue that. And then on this page, so for each campus that you select, you would choose the major. You can go ahead. So for Berkeley, for example, it shows the different colleges, and then you can click on those and then click that as your major. And then if you can also select alternate major. So if you have one in mind, you can go ahead and click that.
Sorry, for campuses, there's a different screen that we see.
Is it different?
Yeah, when you go back to choose campuses,
Mhm.
It shows like a map.
Oh yes, there's also that. It might just be how my screen is saved, but there we go. So just because I had it on a smaller screen, so you could also click on those. It's the same thing basically. And then you would save and continue. And then, so that would be the same. The only college that has a unique system would be San Diego, because you can edit the ranking of the college. So when you apply or if you get accepted into UC San Diego, they take into account your preference for the college assignment. So you would rank the college. So if you want to be in the 8th college, you would rank that as number 1, and you would go down and then save that. That's the only one that's different. And then I'll skip this page for now. And then it also shows the review for this section. Okay, An, did you have a question?
Oh, sorry. I just forget to lower my hand.
That's okay. Juan, you had a question?
Yes, like and when we were in the other section, I put that was that I've been here for 364 days and that I'm a resident here. And then they went to like the next page where and it basically I don't think here, let me see. It was in the statement of legal residency, it goes to like a next page where it says like to determine yeah, it's like the one I like didn't answer it because I don't think it's okay. It says the last one is it says like where you said, would you like to be evaluated for California residency for tuition purposes? And I put yes. And then I put, and then it says, in order to complete the section, you need to provide more, click edit to complete. So I click edit and it takes me to a page that says about you statement of legal residency, and it says
Yes.
special circumstances, non-residential supplemental tuition exemptions and tuition waivers. But I don't think anything of it applies to me because I am a California resident. Like I think there's a page after that one. It sends me to, after that one, it sends me to a page, to a next page.
To a page after this one?
Yeah. Like it sends me it sends me to a page after that one. There are some errors below, like click continue working and maybe it'll send you to the page. Go down. Yeah, I don't know why it sends me to another page. It sends me to one where it says like something about special circumstances and
Okay, I would ask one of the, you could hop into a breakout room for like if you want to try to share the screen for that.
Okay.
I'm not sure why it's not showing up on my end for that, but this is all that I see right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try again to a tap room. Thank you.
Julie had a question.
Yeah, for the choose campuses and majors, when I try to do that, I have the map, but it won't let me choose UC Davis.
Did you select? So
there's only a box to check off on 3 campuses. The rest of the campuses you can't check them.
So you might be restricted based on what application you wanted to fill out. So if it's not fall 2024, you might have some restrictions. So for example, winter 2024 that you might have clicked, then it would only let you select those colleges that accept applications for that time. So double check to make sure the application is the right one. Yeah.
Where was that?
So for my end here, you can click on the application status, and it would show you which one it is. So
Says
here
I have winter quarter.
Yeah. So
spring semester 2024.
yeah. So if it's in winter, it will restrict because some colleges don't accept applications for that quarter. So you wouldn't be able to submit an application, for example, to Davis. They only accept in the fall.
Okay.
So
let's see. Where the heck was that at?
I can address someone, and I can get back to you on that once you find where that's at.
Well, it's not letting me edit it. I found where you put junior level transfer student. It says I plan to start at the University of California in, but I don't know where I can
So
that.
Go to application status
I
to check
did.
the whole. What do you see on?
And when I do application status, it says open application, and then the only thing I can click on is the winter quarter / spring semester 2024 is what I have checked off.
So you would create a new application for a different term.
Oh, I start all over?
It would have to be not in winter. I'm not sure. Anushka, do you know if you're able to switch the semester or the year on the application you opened, or would Julie have to reopen a new application?
I think you might have to like create a new application if you're applying like a different term, since like the term you apply just affects like everything. So
okay, so
you know what? Maybe I signed up. Maybe I filled this out too soon because I created this account sometime the end of July or beginning of August. That's probably where my problem lies.
So what you can do is create a new application and then make sure it's for fall 2024. And then on a different tab, you can just have a different tab open and transfer the information that you put on the winter one into the fall one.
Okay, all right.
Mhm.
Can't believe this. All right, I'll go back through and do all that.
And Peter, is it? Did you have a question?
Yeah. So when I go to the term and level, it says fall quarter 2024 and it says junior year level transfer. But when I go to choose campuses, it just shows the map for me and no tags to select campuses.
So there's no colleges popping up like this?
No. It just shows the plain map.
Oh. So you're not able to see like the
Yeah,
ones that I'm
no, I can see like the pictures, but not the
okay.
the
Try
campuses.
making it smaller so maybe like the screen. I'm not sure what device you're on, but
It's a Mac.
okay, on if you shrink the size of the desktop, maybe it will also show you the list. Do you if you
Oh
see-
yeah, okay, that worked.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's really weird. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Kenda, you had a question?
Yeah, some of the college universities has the major and then there is AB next to it, and some of them has BA next to it. I know that's the degree, but what's the BA stand for?
The BA. So that's of arts, I believe. Anushka, if you could clarify if I'm wrong or right, but one of them is Bachelor of Arts and the other one is of Science.
Yeah, maybe some universities will give you like the choice to earn a degree in like the same subject, but like a Bachelor of Arts or like a Bachelor of Science degree, whatever like you want to choose.
And then you could probably look, if you're not sure the differences between the two, I would go on to the UC's website. Just they should have a description of the degree just so you know which one that you want to go for.
Thank you.
And Anya had a question?
Yes, so I'm pretty sure I'm applying for the right semester right now, fall 24. But earlier I was started out with winter of 2024. So would that be a problem? I started out but didn't submit anything.
You don't have to finish the winter application or anything. Just make sure if you're doing fall, that you clicked that it's the fall application.
Okay.
Just so like you get the options for like these, because I also was filling out the winter one on accident and I was like, oh, it's not like it's showing me like a red X, it won't let me click in them. It's because of what schools, yeah, accept during that season. So like winter, as I said, I know Davis doesn't accept during winter, so that would be restricted. So just make sure it's the right quarter or right
Okay.
season you're selecting.
Well, I started out with winter. I'm on the fall, right? But do I need to get rid of the winter? If that's so, then how can I?
You can just leave it. You don't need to you just don't submit the winter
Okay, so don't touch it.
Yeah, you just
Okay,
focus on the fall one. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Any more questions? If you could put your hand down if, okay. All right, that's pretty much it for the about you and the campus and major sections. So I know we're a little over time, but Anushka, if you'd like to go over to the academic history part, I can pass it on to you.
Yes, I'll go over that part.
Okay, and I'll stop sharing my screen.
Can I ask one last question before we move on to the next section?
Yeah.
You said something earlier about UC San Diego ranking. how does that work again?
Anushka, if you want to pull up that part, but basically UC
Wait,
San
which part?
Diego,
Sorry.
at the choose majors. So for UC San Diego, there is different. They let you rank the colleges that you want to be accepted into. So for the other UCs, it will let you select a major. Like you click. I don't know if you saw earlier, but you click the college and that has the major. Then you would mark that. For UC San Diego, they also have you rank which college you would want to get enrolled into. They have it rank it, so it'll show like different arrows and everything. It'll be like one. You can show like 1, 2, 3, all the way down.
Okay, awesome. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good to go to academic history. Okay. So I know quite a few of you had questions about the academic history type portions of the UC application. So I hope this section can answer your questions a bit. So first there's this introduction, and the whole point of this is to know like where you've gone to school and like what like courses you've taken and all like leading up to your transfer. So continuing on. So the first thing that will happen in the, oh wait, did you still have a question or about the section?
No, I just forgot to lower it down. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Yeah, so the first part of the academic history section is, most of you should already have a TAP account by now. So, all that data entry you did in your TAP account, putting in your colleges and courses and whatnot. So you could save a lot of time on data entry if you just put in if you can import data from your UC TAP. And then here you just have to put in your TAP login ID and your TAP email address. And usually the login ID is just the same as your email address, unless you created a separate login ID at the time when you made your TAP. But if you do have the same email address in your UC application as your UC TAP, you can just click this, then it'll automatically populate for you. And then, I've already done it, so I'm not going to do the import data from TAP, but I could just import it again. Yes, then I'll just do save and continue since I've already done it, and you'll see where that populates later. And then after that is the last high school attended section, which we did talk a little bit about high school earlier, but to evaluate your record, they do need to know just what was the last high school you've attended and only the last high school year. For example, if I went to this high school, there's school code, and then you could edit it here. Yeah, this was already imported from my UC TAP. So if you didn't have a UC TAP, for example, you could also just fill it in manually, and it'll ask you like the name of your high school, like where it was, etc. This will also count if you went to high school outside the state or outside the country, for example, as well. You would still have to report that, and it'll just ask you like when you attended and like what kind of degree you've received from it. And this would also count like if you received like some sort of high school equivalent credential, such as a GED, then received it. And so there they'll also ask if you attended internationally. Oh yeah, Dorsa, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. So since we import our UC tab to this UC application, so whatever changes we do at UC tab, it automatically be changes, also here too.
Yeah, so first, if you've already filled out your UC tab correctly, then you could just then you don't have to enter it again if you just do the import. Did that answer your question? On, you had a question as well?
Yes, in my in front of, not in front, but in my high school information, it has a red exclamation mark. So would there be like arrows in there or something?
Think, yeah, usually if you like mouse over that like red exclamation mark, or if the UC application gives you an error, it'll also like tell you like where the error is, then like you could go in and fix it accordingly.
Well, it doesn't say anything. It's just told me to it just said they need to know my last high school I attended, and I already list that out.
If it's something like that, maybe you could hop into a breakout room and like share your screen with someone, and then they could like troubleshoot it with you one-on-one.
Oh, actually, I figured that out.
Oh, you're good?
Yeah, for the last question, in the high school information parts, it said, did I attend school outside of United States? Does that mean that it's before I attend high school at Cali?
Yes, like for example, if you first went to high school like outside the country, and then like you came to the United, and then you graduated from a high school in the United States, then you would still put like yes. And then if you tap that there, then it'll just ask you for like the language of instruction, because if it was in like a language other than like English, for example, that might like may apply towards like a language requirement, for example.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. And then Julie, I saw your hand go up next.
Yeah, so after we import our tag information, when we make changes to it, like next semester, when we update the grades and all that, will it automatically update in the application, or are we going to have to go into the application and do it there as well?
I can answer this. Julie, after you submit the tag, you don't make updates in the tag anymore. It actually locks. So all updates from there go into the UC application. And then there's going to be a UC application update that happens in January, where you go back and you put in your fall grades. And if you have any changes to your spring plans.
Got it. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. I think I'm Lynn. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, but
Yeah, so can it be put into a breakout room?
think yes, you can. You can just private message Lisa Overstreet or Pamela Blanco, and then they should be able to help you out. And then Gidget.
Yeah, I retook a drawing class when I was in Italy. I got an A, and at home earlier I got a C, and my junior college accepted the A and kind of got rid of the C. So as I'm putting the classes in the app, should I just put all the classes and just let it all count and see what they decide to do? And will they take the A, or are they going to take the C? And will they take the A and the C?
Think Yeah, you'd have to report everything, but we'll get there in a little bit. This was like you attended college in Italy, right? Not like high school.
Yeah, I was studying abroad for 3 months with junior colleges. It's like the junior college teachers were in Italy teaching their courses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then we'll get to that section more in a little bit. But
Yeah, it
Wow.
sounds like that's would be part of your community college transcript, right?
Yes, and my junior college counted the A and got rid of the C, but it sounds like when I read the rules from the UC, they take the first class taken, so they may do it the opposite than what the junior college did, which makes a big difference in my GPA. C versus an A.
Yeah, we don't allow repeats of Cs, but you'll just need to report it exactly as it appears on your transcripts.
Okay.
Yeah, Joshan, you had a question?
Hi, I'm in need of a breakout room, but it's not allowing me to direct message Pamela.
I was just messaging you. Yes, I can go in a breakout room with you now. So I'll move.
Nobody can go with me in a breakout room. Then.
Oh, I would do that too. I missed that you asked for that. But yes, I will go with Joshan first.
Okay, so no more questions. I'll move on then to the next part of academic history. That's that. So after you input the high school you went to, it'll ask you to put every college that like you've ever attended that like you have a transcript for. If there's just something that appears on your transcript, they want you to put everything regardless of how long you've attended and like whether you completed your course, got a A, B, C, D, F, withdraw, whatever. Just put everything, whether you believe it will affect your chances of admission or not. And then here, for example, I just put one course from BYU, even though all I did was I didn't get a degree, I didn't even get a grade, I just drew that course and then I put my community colleges here as well. Then here for every college you've attended, it'll ask you the start date and end date. And then for people who are concurrently attending multiple colleges, for example, you would put is this your current or most recent college for the school that you consider to be like your primary school. For example, some of you might be taking courses at a community college that is part of a district, and you could be taking classes all over the district, but then you would only put yes for the school you consider to be your primary school. And then it'll also ask what like your college's grading system is. And you might be asking like, what if like my school doesn't go by like the A, B, C, D, F grading system? Because I know like international colleges, for example, if you've ever attended those often use different grading scales. So you may have to like specify like what this other like grading system is, for example. And after that, it'll ask you like, what is like, does this college go by the semester or the quarter system? And then after that, it'll have you select the terms for which you were enrolled at the college. For example, I put like fall 2019 to spring 2020, and it'll have you select every term. For example, like if you took a break one term, you would just not select that. Then finally, it'll ask you like what kind of degree you got from there. Yeah, I see we have quite a few questions. So Julie, you want to go first?
Yeah, so I did the first college I went to, or community college I went to, I did almost all my coursework for my accounting degree, but then I switched to a different community college and I finished up the last 2 classes at the other community college and then just transferred them back to the original college. So that's the original college is where I ended up getting the degree from. But it won't let me select 2022 because I didn't attend that college in 2022. So what should I do for the year that I received the degree for the original college I started attending?
So for the original college you attended, you said that the last time you took like a course from there was.
Yeah, it was in 2010. And then I didn't go to school for like 10 years. And so then when I started up at Sac City, I finished up the 2 classes I needed to complete the associates in accounting at Solano Community College. I did that last year and I got my diploma from Solano in 2022. But I didn't go to school there in 2022, so it's not giving me the option of picking that year.
It would depend on the dates of attendance that you listed.
So do
for
I
the
just,
school.
so do I just pick a different year even though I didn't complete it in that year? I mean, that doesn't.
Let me, I'll put you on my list for breakout room.
Okay.
Yeah, then I saw on.
Or Julie, can you send me a direct message so I can?
Oh, got it. Okay.
In the breakout room. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It's
on you
almost
had a
6:30.
question.
Well, how are we doing? What section are we in now?
We're currently in academic history on the section about like what colleges like you've put in. We're not on coursework, and then we'll go to coursework after that.
Can I ask my question now?
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry about that.
Okay. You're good. So I don't know why for yours it does not pop up, but for mine it has the tiny little questions after the level, degree, and diploma. It asks, what is your AAT or AST degree major? And I don't know what those degrees are.
Oh yeah, like I think since you're putting it for a community college, if you can see on my screen, since now I switched to the community college, it'll ask you like, yes, what it was, and this is like if you've received like an associate's for transfer like degree specifically, it has this other question. But if you just receive like a regular associate's degree, it'll just ask you like when you received it, for example. But if you
I click no for associate or transfer or UC transfer pathway associate degree. I click no for that. Should I click yes? There is the UC transfer pathway associate degree, which confused me.
Oh yeah, I mean maybe at some community colleges like this type of degree like would be available. So if you did receive it, then it would ask you more information about like that degree. But like if you receive like an AAT or like an AST degree from your community college, it'll ask you like more information than just like the month and year. It may like also ask you about like your major, for example, but for like a regular associate's degree, it'll just ask you when you received it.
Oh, okay. Like how can I know if I received this degree or not? I'm just like tell my counselor that I'm just focusing in getting transferred. So not sure if I'm gonna receive any AA degrees or anything like that. Should I just put no?
Yeah, you could also just put no if like you're not sure you're going to receive the degree by like the time you transfer, but for like when you're gonna receive it, I would also check in with your community college counselor on that.
Oh, okay. So in case if I gonna receive any of those degrees, should I update it in my application?
Yeah, for example, if you like receive it between the time you submit and your application in November and January, you could go back and add it in the transfer academic update in this application.
Okay, and also I think one of the specialists mentioned about this earlier, but I forgot. She said I won't be able to make any adjustment for tech, right? So as for now, I have not completed all of my courses until spring. So like, do I just list out all of the courses that I have completed up till now for tag?
We'll get there in a little bit on like what to do with your completed, in progress, and planned courses.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, yeah, David?
Yes, I just imported my grades from my UC tab application, and then there was a 2 pass and fail classes, and then it says I need to put some units, but it basically 0. So how should I pass this part? It says I need to put some units on this part, or do I need to remove this class from my transcript?
I think, yeah, we'll also get to that question in a little bit in the section about coursework, which will be next. So if
Okay.
anyone has questions about like how to put in your coursework, if you don't mind like holding those, but if anyone has questions about like how to fill out like what colleges you've attended and when and like what degree you got.
Okay, I do have one follow-up question. So someone just mentioned about the UC TAP application. And then when is the last time we can update our UC TAP application? Is there any specific date on it, or?
Do you mean your UC transfer admission guarantee?
Yeah, yes.
Think, yeah, for that you'll need the transfer admission planner or TAP, and usually you will be updating that like as you go like throughout community college and stuff. But then like once you're getting ready to like once you're submitting like your UC application like in November, after that you'll just be doing everything on the UC application. You won't really be using the TAP that much anymore after that point.
Okay, but I can update my application at any time before I submit my UC TAP application. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and Alana?
My question's in regards to, I'll wait until we get to that section. It's the personal insight questions. I already have my application and everything filled out on my personal insight questions, and I know there's a max of 250 to 300. Look, how can you get everything you've been through since I've been doing this since 2001 until now, and I'm finally transferring because I have 4 kids, 2 businesses, and worked school in between that. So when they ask for additional information, is that where I would answer those questions more thoroughly than 300 words?
Yeah, I guess I'll just mention it in a briefly since we won't have that much time, but the additional information section is not designed to be like a extension of your personal insight questions, for example. But maybe if there's like something else that like you didn't get to mention in the personal insight questions, like if you wanted to explain like why you were like not in school for a certain time, or just explain a little bit about like personal life circumstances briefly that you think the UC should know, that's what it's for.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. And Manny?
I was just gonna ask for the because I asked for the dates of when you attended each college. Does that have to be like specific, or can it just be like a ballpark?
It'll just ask for the month and the year, so you should probably like at least check like what terms you've attended that college, and then after that, then like it'll, once you put like June 2016 to May 2021, then it'll populate the terms here. So like every term from June 2016 to like May 2021 is automatically like populated here
Okay.
based on the time and the semester system.
Okay. And I have a follow-up question. So, because for me, I'm taking classes at like my college and another college just because it's easier. For the dates attended, I just do from the first class to the end of the last class, right? Even if there's some time in between when I didn't take classes at the specific college.
Yeah, but if there were like gaps in your like time enrolled at the college, you would just like not select those terms.
Okay. All right, then. Thank you.
Yeah, and then after that, we'll be moving on to the section where you input your college courses. So like here, I've already imported everything from my TAP, so it should like show up the colleges and like the courses and grades and units and everything I took from there. But like, of course, the UC application, they also won't let you continue it until like you double check and confirm everything as well. And for that, I don't have any errors popping up since I already went and did that beforehand. But like here, you could also like go and edit it if you needed to add something, for example. And then for the like, for a California community college, it should like automatically like populate here. For example, in fall 2018, I would look for the specific course that I took, like in what department at Diablo Valley College it was at. Then I would select like this course, and then it all automatically says like if I took this specific course, then it puts units and all, and then you'd put your grade stuff. And then like some of you were asking about like courses, like what if I didn't get a traditional like A, B, C, D, F grade? Then like if you took a something like pass or no pass, then you would just put that there. Or if there's a course that you're already in and you don't have a grade yet, then you'd put in progress. And if it's a course that you are planning like in spring, for example, then you would put planned. And for the like what grade code you'd put, then you just put whatever is there on your transcript as well. Let's see, got you questions there. Is it on?
Oh, again, I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay, no worries. Stephen?
Yeah, so I was wondering, because I know for the TAP or the tag, you have to put in even the non-transferable UC courses into the course history. So would I have to, like, I took a summer class that's non-UC transferable. Would I have to put that into the application as well?
Yes, you would also have to put non-transferable courses since those are still on your transcript. And then like at the bottom, if you see here, I don't see my courses, then you just have to manually enter it here. And that would be for like a non-transferable course you took at a community college or a course that you took like outside of a community college. Because like here, only transferable courses would pop up.
Yeah, and then my second question was, do we have to put in like the in-progress classes like for fall semester right now and then the planned classes for spring as well?
Yes, you would also have to put your in progress and planned courses. Then like even if those like change later, you could update that in your transfer academic update in January if it changes after you submit your application.
Okay, thank you.
Kenda?
Yeah, I had some gaps between my semesters, like 2, and it's asking to explain why. I just needed like to help myself financially. How would I explain that?
You could, I mean, you don't have to like write a long explanation. You could just write something like, oh, I was working, or I need to take care of my family, or like financial difficulties, or whatever your situation is. They just want you to put like something.
Okay, and then one of my classes was public speaking, and I had to leave the class the first time I took it, but I couldn't drop it because I would have gotten W, and I didn't want to get that. So I just had to leave the class, and I got an F at the end. But then I took it the semester after, and I took an A. Do I still need to put that F in there?
Yes, if both the F and the A appear on your transcript, then you would have to report it both times, since the point of this is to match what's on your transcript.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and Manny?
I was just clarifying for so I'm on the semester system and I've taken classes during the intersession period, which is like in between the fall and spring semester. Would I just label that as spring semester because there isn't an option for intercession?
Believe if you go back to like colleges and then could ask like what is their term system, if it's like then you put something like semester with winter session if that's what it is.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And Kenda, did you still have a question or you good?
No, I'm sorry, I just forgot to lower my hand.
Please. And okay, Julie.
So for the gaps, in my tag application, I filled in all those gaps, but those don't transfer over. You have to refill them out again.
Yeah, I believe it's only the colleges you've attended and like the coursework and grades that you can import from TAP to your UC application. So unfortunately, yeah, you have to like write your reasoning for the gaps again.
Okay, I'll just pull it up and do them side by side. Thank you.
Yeah, and Jennifer?
Oh, when it asked us to like sync our transfer admission planner, I did that and it seemed to put in most of my classes, but I went to a TAP in a Snap and they checked my TAP and they said it was all complete and done and ready to be turned in. But after it's synced, I'm noticing that I only have classes up to the fall of 2022. So it doesn't have my spring of 2023 it doesn't have my summer, and it doesn't have like my in-plan classes. So do I have to input that myself?
Yeah, you would also have to go in and update that because like maybe if you went to Tap and a Snap like a while ago, then maybe if you only had like records up to that point, then
Oh yeah, I just went to the Tap and the Snap like a couple weeks ago, and like it was like after I finished inputting everything, so I thought everything was on my Tap already. So it's just kind of weird to me how after it's synced onto here, I only have up until like the fall of 2022.
oh yeah, then I think that's also why the UC application just makes you confirm and double check everything.
All right. So everything should go, including I should manually input it, including the in-plan classes for this fall of 2023 and the spring of 2024.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. And on, do you have another question or?
Yes, I do. So for, let's see, say I planned a couple, well, courses for spring, right? But I planned it for my homeschool, Cosumnes River. But in the future, I'm gonna take it at different school. So I need to go back to fix that, like adjust that.
Yeah, if you know that you're gonna like take the course at a different school, you could just like go in and like delete it from the one college and then just add it to the other college.
And if I not know it in advance.
Yeah, I think for this, just put like what you like think at the moment. You could always go back and change it.
Okay. Also, I have to list out what I plan, right, for spring. Like for all the courses that I'm gonna take during spring.
Yeah, they also want your the classes you're taking right now during fall and what you plan to take in spring.
Yeah, I already put in classes that I am taking right now. And I also needed to add classes that I plan to take during spring, right? But while looking at that class, I don't see, because usually it has like what PL, right, for planned it.
Yeah.
But I don't see that in my class, which is weird. I only see like PS, A, B, C, D, F, PS, NP, CR, NC, BW, WI, WF, WU, IN, and AR. So I don't see any PL.
Maybe check
For
if
that.
it's check if it's like for a future term because they'll only allow in progress and plan designations for like courses that are in like a current or like a future term because I guess you can't go back in time and plan to take a
Oh.
class in the past.
Oh, you're right. Oh, shoot, I forgot. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go. So PL. All right.
And Kenda?
Hi. So one of the requirements was for school is to take another language class. And I talked to my counselor about this and I told her that I speak another language, but they don't have a class for it in the university. And they told me to get a like certificate that I speak that language. Is that still acceptable?
I think that I'm not sure about. I think a counselor would have to answer that question for you. Maybe you could like talk to a top coordinator about that. Sorry.
Okay, and then if I graduated from college last year in 2020, 2022, I don't have to add a planned classes, right?
Yeah, if you don't plan on like taking future if you're gonna have like a gap between like your last term and like when you plan to start at UC, then like yeah, that's fine. They might just also like ask like why aren't you taking classes? And you could just say like you finished all your classes.
Okay, thank you.
And Juan?
Hello. My question is, for all my courses, I uploaded them from TAP, but it uploaded every course I have, but it didn't upload the ones I have planned for spring 2024. But I don't know how I would add those. There's no button to add for spring, or I don't see one. Or or should I add those next semester when it's spring? Well, I can't, but the application would be turned in by then.
Oh, yeah. So if you like already like know like what you're gonna take in spring quarter, then like when you go to like colleges, for example, and then like if you have here and then your prospective like end date could be like June 2024, for example, then it'll like let you, yeah, and then like you save and then it'll like let you like select like, yeah, I'm taking classes during like the 2024 term as well, and then it'll let you put in classes.
Okay, I see now. I think it had the wrong end date for me. I'll change it now. Okay.
Yeah, and just to interject, for everyone that will be taking classes in the spring, you are required to put those spring courses into your application before you submit it. So make sure that even if you're not 100% sure on what those classes are, you can make updates later. It does need to be in there if you're going to be taking any classes. Otherwise, you leave it blank and you would have to explain the gap in education.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so I'll be moving on to the minimum requirements section just for the sake of time. So then there are also the minimum requirements to like enter the UC. So then go here, if you click the next button for okay, yeah, sorry about that. Here it is. So like there are minimum requirements, for example, and first it'll ask you about the entry level writing requirement. And there are multiple ways to fulfill this entry level writing requirement. So if you're asking like, how do I know if I've fulfilled it? So I put in this other tab here, and there are a lot of ways to satisfy it. You could also about campus specific guidelines per se, and yeah, it has to be satisfied either like before beginning your courses or within like the first like you like term during your first year after enrollment. So it'll ask you if you would have like already fulfilled it at your community college beforehand, and like this is a graduation requirement for your bachelor's degree. And then you could like get it with like your test scores, such as through the ACT or SAT if you took those, but that's mostly for freshman level applicants. You don't have to report those in the exams as a transfer. Could also get it through AP exams or IB exams. And then also when you took English composition courses, that also counts. But anyways, you would have had to fulfill it through your composition courses. And then it'll also ask you about if you'll be submitted for IGETC before you transfer. And what that is basically it's your community college telling the UC that like, yeah, you've already done all your lower division general education requirements, and that is something that you have to get your community college to send to the like place you'll be attending to. And I guess the certification isn't automatic. You do have to ask your community college for it. And how do you know if you're eligible? Usually community colleges have worksheets you could fill out to see if you've completed it, or you could always talk to your counselor as well. And then the UC also has something called the 7-course pattern, which is required for admission. And it's just 7 courses in a variety of subject areas, and you have to get a C or better in these courses to complete it. And it'll automatically tell you if you've satisfied the 7-course pattern based on what you put into the coursework section beforehand. Like, for example, you need 2 English courses, it'll show here these are. And then for the math course, see, I have 1 math course here. And then for the other 4 courses, you can fulfill it in a variety of subject areas. So it may not show like what specific courses are fulfilling it, but if it is fulfilled, then it'll say here that, yeah, you have fulfilled it. Okay. Yeah, now moving on to questions on.
Just forget again. You're sorry.
Can I hop in just for a moment? This came up earlier and it comes up quite a bit with the English. If you're using an AP or like IB exam for that English fulfillment, it doesn't automatically recognize it in this portion of the application. You have to put it in the exams, but it still doesn't pull it automatically. So you would just need to enter it in, and I can share screen for just a second. I can show everyone what it is that I do to fill this out so it shows that it's fulfilled. So let's just share my screen. So for the second course, I would just say, what is the status of the second course? Click on completed with a grade of C or better, and then enter it like this to put your exam information in. We'll see it anyway, even if it doesn't load here and you didn't do this, as long as you do put it in that test scores area. But just to have it, your application clean and this part filled out is what I recommend doing.
Yeah, Kenda.
No question.
Okay, then Joshan.
Hi, so this is very similar to the question that we just went over, but instead of an AP class that fulfills a requirement of one of the courses, I took a dual enrollment course in high school that fulfilled a math requirement. I don't know how I'm supposed to fill that out because I don't know what I would put for the course number.
Was it a community college course?
Yes, it was from a community college. So I got the department number, I think, but I know the course title, but I don't know what to put for department and course number.
Yeah, so that course, you would actually report like back in the coursework section, and you would just report it as you would any other course, even if it was dual enrolled. And then for like when you started at that college, you would just like put the start date is like when you took your like first course, and then it should populate like, yeah, I took a course during that term, this is like the course department number, etc., and then it should show up here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then after they ask you about minimum requirements, then they'll just ask you like if you've been on like academic probation before. And if you have been, I guess that's all right, but then they'll just ask you like more details about that, like if you've like been on academic probation like at your community college or any other like college that isn't a UC campus. Because you have been there, then they'll just ask you like what schools you've been on academic probation at. And then there is also the UC transfer pathway courses, which are like specific like courses you could take to like get like some sort of recognition that, yeah, you're on this transfer pathway, you've completed the related courses. Then there are a bunch of these transfer pathways here. And like if you've already like taken everything and like you know that, then you could like input that there. And then there is like this link over here where you could like learn more about like the transfer pathways example. Yeah, so then if you've taken like these courses, for example, then you could say you've completed the mechanical engineering transfer pathway. Yeah. Then this last section is just where you could put in like additional comments if you want to like explain a little bit more about like academic history, such as like if you want to tell them more about like why you weren't attending school or like why you didn't do well in a specific time, or like more information about your school, you have the opportunity to put that here. And also if you have the school's grading system other than the ABCDF or the 0 to 100 system, for example, if you are an international student, you would also explain more about that other grading system here. Yeah, and Natalie.
I want to ask about the transfer pathway. Do I have to finish all of the course or the courses now at the time of the application deadline, or if I just plan it ahead for the spring too? Do I have to finish it now? It said completed, so probably I have to finish it by the time of the deadline, right?
It's by the end of spring.
It's the end of spring.
So, yeah, or actually through the end of spring if you are doing the pathway.
Right. And also for the additional comments, the grading system only apply for the college, right? Like if it's high school, then I don't need to mention it, right?
Yeah, since they only want to see like your coursework from like colleges. So if you attended college outside of the US and there was a different grading system, then you'd have to like explain that grading system.
Right, thank you.
And Francis?
Yes, hi. I was just wondering, in this section, you said to explain maybe like if you had a not such good grade, say a D or whatnot, even though it was a class, say a course that doesn't count or is not transferable or anything like that, do we still have to explain like that grade?
I would still recommend like explaining it there, but like it's still optional, but I would again recommend it if like you have something to say.
Yeah, because it was like just a basic math course from when I first started community college, and that's like the only D on my transcript. So I was just wondering like, but it said it doesn't count for anything. That course didn't, like any units or any transferable units or credits or anything like that. So I could or not say something about that D you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So I could or could not write in there about that. Or you recommended that I could, right? I mean that I should.
Yeah. And Stephen?
Yeah, so for the pathways, the transfer pathways, does that mean if you're like following assist.org, does that mean you're following it? Because I had no idea about the transfer pathways, but I'm following assist.org and it seems like it's pretty similar.
Yeah, like for example, if I were to look at the cell biology transfer pathway, then like, for example, these are like the courses that like you'd have to take at your community college to like complete that pathway, because like the names of the courses will be like different at every community college. So they just put like the general like classes you have to take.
Okay, but so like would I put yes that I followed the pathway even though I didn't know I was following it? That makes sense
Well,
because I was checking the requirements and it seems like I'm either going to take or I did take all of the courses in the pathway.
well, yeah, if you've completed a pathway for a major, then I don't see a reason like why not to put it.
Even if it's still in progress.
Yeah, but if you plan on completing it like by the spring before your transfer, as Lisa said, you could count it as complete.
Okay, but it wasn't like I had to join like a transfer pathway program or anything like that.
No.
Okay,
Will
thank
only
you.
help you. It won't hurt your application.
I appreciate it.
Okay, and Juan?
Hello. I was trying, I was just at the transfer pathways and, I see there's a one for the, I'm doing psychology. There's a BA one on the website. When I clicked on the link, that's right there on the use on the application, but I couldn't find one for BA. I don't know if I did the, I'll just put no, right? I didn't do a transfer pathway. I do have a transfer associate's degree for psychology, but I don't think I did the pathway. I did assist.org. I did everything in assist.org.
Yeah, the transfer pathway is different from your associate's degree. So just because you've completed one doesn't necessarily mean you've completed the other.
Okay. So I'll just put no because I couldn't find a transfer pathway for psychology. So I don't know if I mean there is one for BA, which is like the scientific one, but I couldn't find one for the AB, which is like more like social and behavioral. So I'll just put no.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Then on.
Hi, so he asked you, I couldn't find my major, which is civil engineering, and I'm pretty sure I followed the requirements for a civil engineering major at Davis, but for this website, I couldn't find my major. What should I put in then?
Let me try it right now and see. Yeah, so civil engineering will be in our College of Engineering here. So if you were to like go to like UC Davis and after choosing campuses, when you choose your major, then it should appear here like when you go to civil engineering.
Yeah, I saw it for that part, but in the academic history, UC transfer pathway, I couldn't find my major. So can you go to, yeah. And then the last part before review, additional information.
Oh.
Yeah, that selection, yeah, that part. I couldn't find civil engineering.
Oh yeah, there aren't transfer pathways for every major. So if there's like a related major that like you want to put, or you could just leave it blank.
Well, something similar is mechanical engineering, but I'm just afraid that if I put it there and it's not like really my major, would hurt my application.
Yeah, I think.
Or should I just leave it blank?
I mean, it shouldn't affect your application like that much, the transfer pathway thing. So you could just like leave it blank if you'd like.
Okay, got it. All right. Oh, there's an option set, add another UC transfer pathway. Oh, no,
Oh,
never
yeah,
mind.
that's only if you fulfilled multiple.
Okay, well, never mind. I didn't.
And
Okay.
okay, hope that
Yep.
answered your question. Yeah, David?
Yes, I do have one question. I withdraw one class and there is a two different grades on the system. It says WI, WF. What's the difference?
If I go back to like college courses, example,
There's also three different.
Oh, yeah, so then it's just depending on what's there on your transcript, whether like if it's just a withdraw, then you'd put the WI, but maybe if there's like another related code, such as like excuse withdrawal, withdraw unauthorized, withdraw failure, etc., then you just put that instead.
What's the difference between withdraw and withdraw unauthorized?
Maybe like some community colleges will indicate it like separately if it's like withdraw that like wasn't authorized per se, but if it just says withdraw on your transcript, then just put WI.
Okay, yeah, I think that I'm gonna go with that. Thank you.
Yeah, so then in this last section, you could just review and double check everything that was there. And this concludes our application lab. Thank you everyone for being patient and working with us and bearing with us. So if anyone had a few last questions, you could ask. Now's the chance about any section.
Can I just unmute and ask my questions?
Yes, you can.
Okay, just a quick one. So, last time clarified. So if I transfer, I should apply as a junior, right?
Yes, you would. Most people would be applying as a junior.
Okay, so great. Thank you.
Sorry, what was the deadline again for this application to be submitted completely?
Yes, so the filing period is October 1st through November 30th. So you'll first be able to submit October 1st and the final deadline is November 30th. But just don't wait until the evening of November 30th because sometimes the system crashes because too many people are trying to submit their applications last minute. So usually earlier is better.
Of this year, right?
Yes, of this year.
Thank you.
I have a question. So in the coursework, I have a bunch of gaps, and the questions that they're asking questions about gaps that are different from what I filled out in my TAP. So I'm kind of confused as to I guess, do I don't know, just follow what it asks for, even though it's different than what the gaps were on my TAP application?
Yeah, I would suggest just answering the questions again on the UC application.
Okay. It's confusing that it's like different. I would just have assumed that all the gaps I filled in, I would just copy and paste from one to the other, but they're not matching up. It's completely different. Okay, thank you.
Lynn, I'd also recommend just re-reviewing all of that coursework to make sure that you're not missing anything that should be in there if it doesn't seem right. because the application will automatically notice any regular term, so anything that's not summer that you didn't attend, and it will ask for an explanation. So we do need an explanation for each instance, but if you're like, I was in school during that time, why is it asking me this? Double check your coursework and dates of attendance that you input.
Okay, I mean, I've double checked them many times and it's all very accurate to my transcripts. That's why I'm just kind of, why I'm thrown off by this, because I started to go fill them out. And the first gap on the tab is fall 2000 and fall 2001. But on the UC application, they're talking about spring 2001.
Were you enrolled in school then?
No.
Okay, so then it is a genuine gap and you would need to explain it. So anytime there's any regular term, so any,
You know what it is in TAP, it's fall 2000 to fall 2001 and spring 2001 is in the middle of all that. So it's going by, it's asking about gaps or a specific term, like the TAP is doing a whole period of time. Whereas I guess the application is going by individual terms.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So explain it for each term. They're different systems, so they're not set up exactly the same. But yeah, we need an explanation for every single, regular, non-summer term that you were not enrolled in school.
Okay, I know how to do this. I figured out how I can do it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
That helped out a lot.
You're welcome, no problem.
Okay, last two questions.
Oh, can I go? Can I ask my questions?
David, I think was first.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
Okay, Ann? Ann?
Oh, yes. So for the parent information part, well, my parents work for like a job, but they kind of like jumping between different department and different companies. So do I just give you their most recent job and their most recent position? I mean, job title?
Does anyone want to answer that? Were you waiting for me to answer? Yes. Yeah, just
Okay.
your most recent one.
Okay.
Or they're current. They're current.
The most current one, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Awesome. And also another question is that I heard that for low income students, they got for university application waived, like fee waived. And for mine, I still see the amount of fee that I have to pay in order to apply those schools. So would get waived at the end.
We will go over that in the next. Yeah, we were only going to cover sections 1 through 3. But yeah, the fee waiver is at the end when you do the payment.
Oh,
It will
okay.
tell you it will tell you automatically if you qualify for the fee waiver or not.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, last one, and that's it, because I said 2 questions, but David forgot his question. Caitlin.
I'm sorry. Can how do I say this? So I need to take one more GE course, and I'm not sure if I have enough space, like in this semester or next semester. Is it okay if I take it in the summer, or does it like cut off? Like, does it not count anymore towards the application?
Do you need it for?
Yeah, it's like for the I get seat.
I mean, that's a evaluation question. But what community college do you currently attend, Caitlin?
City College of San Francisco.
Okay. Do you have a meeting with Jackie soon or no?
I do not.
Okay. So send that question over to Jackie so she can review your entire application. So let me put it in the chat. That's only for students who attend schools that Jackie covers.
Oh, yeah. And if you don't know like who your top advisor is, you could just search up your school here and then it'll give you like who your advisor is and like how to contact them. And you could either email them or make an appointment with them and get all your questions answered.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, is that for any school?
Yes, that's for every school.
Thank you.
I'll put this link in the chat.
All right, everyone. We are going to go ahead and say goodbye for tonight. Thank you all for joining us. We did put in the next session. So next week at 5 o'clock next Thursday, we're going to be going through the rest of the sections of the application. So if you want to continue working on your application with us next week, please register for that session and we'll see you then. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good night.